Mike Jordan, the rap outside, Jay working. Now watch how quickly I drop 50. I don't like playing, niggas can't stick me, niggas cannot jam me.
People in the media, political and sports, are trying to convince you what you're supposed to like. I've never played that game. I talk about what research tells me you already like. I'm not in the convincing business. I'm in the what do you like? I'll try to make it interesting business.
Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in.
Back-to-back 50-point games for Bernard King.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move by Jordan!
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win!
I'm trying to figure out if he's this GOAT figure, this mythical, godlike figure.
I used to work out with the 76ers. I used to ask him, what's it like to guard Mike? You go, Mike? You mean Black Jesus? I'm like, what the fuck? Black who? Oh, we call him Black Jesus.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
So the level of fear that he inspired in others was insane.
First off, he was probably the one out of professional sports. He was here where everybody else was here. Michael Jordan was revered as a machine.
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
So, I would recommend for everybody watching right now, if you have a minute,
listen.
Okay.
Drafted by the Bulls with the 3rd overall pick in 1984, he was an instant sensation.
Is Michael Jordan from this planet?
The type of player that can go to another level anytime he wants to.
Body's going flying. What a move! Jordan!
The kid is just amazing, and I've never seen nobody like him.
He's led the club in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals. About the only thing he hasn't done here in Chicago is stop the wind from blowing. But don't bet on it.
Michael Jordan is a phenomenon. You see him before a game, and you see him sitting there, and we have the tape on of the team we're playing, and he's almost mesmerized by it. He looks and he's watching, and sometimes I wonder if he's watching. Sometimes I wonder if he's now watches the tape, and now he doesn't start seeing things in his world about what he wants to do on that particular night.
I felt I had a great season, and which I did, I felt, but I made a lot of mistakes as a rookie.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I can never stop working hard. Each day I feel I have to improve.
I don't consider myself a superstar. I think it's very important for me to consider myself as a person and work my way up to that status.
From North Carolina, head guard, Michael Jordan!
Guarding this guy, I think, made me a better defensive player. Every guy out there think they know how to play defense, but when you go against a guy like that who can chew you up at any time of the game, you don't know how to play defense. His offensive skills were just unbelievable. You find yourself watching him instead of guarding him a lot of times.
The huge hands, hang time, it was artistic. The tongue.
Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move.
I mean, I can think, I'm showing you some here, of a dozen iconic shots from MJ. His shots were memorable. LeBron's been playing for 16 years. He's got one of those.
But if you put this guy in an empty gym with Bill Russell, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Dr. J, he'd be in his element, and they would immediately know that he was one.
Michael's game was more fun to watch, and he was cool without trying.
Hi, my name is Michael Jordan. I want you to take a trip with me and discover the secrets that I've known for many years.
Jordan is the GOAT.
Not only the best basketball player, but probably the greatest athlete that's ever played any sport.
He is the best ever.
Jordan created the blueprint for greatness and all shooting guards. Did you know that the Jordan Bulls never lost 3 consecutive games from 1990 until after he retired? He currently holds the record for most points in a single playoff game with 63 and has 8 50-plus point playoff performances, 4 more than anyone else. Let's see what else his airness did. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring titles, number 1 all-time in points per game for the playoffs, number 1 all-time in points per game for the regular season, number 1 in PER for the regular season and the playoffs, number 1 in win shares for the playoffs, number 4 in win shares for the regular season, and number 4 all-time scoring. Be it his series-clinching buzzer beater over Craig Elo, his 63-point dismantling of the Celtics, the flu game, the up and under, the 96 comeback championship, or MJ's farewell cross-up of Byron Russell, there has been no player that has provided us more legendary performances than Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan averaging 44 a game versus the Cavaliers. And Greg Elo and Mark Price are the guards. Elo, the excellent defender, who will be trying to stop John to see their Cavaliers battling for the playoff spot. But, of course, they're here to see the guy in the middle of your screen. And with the ball, number 23, Michael Jordan. Sit down in the hole against Jordan, who's posted Bennett with the turnaround. And Michael Jordan says so much for that. Bennett backs off another step. He'll take it. He backed off another step, and Michael took him to the cleaners on the baseline. Davis gets the rebound from behind Nance. Jordan goes and gets 3. Jordan sees a slight crack in the Cleveland. Mark Price says, I like to just watch Anderson dribble the ball. He's so good. High praise. Jordan gets Elo airborne, hits the basket, draws the foul.
There was a big article in the Cleveland paper today about Elo being an outstanding defender. Michael sees that and his eyes light up. You see the pump fake.
Michael Jordan, he was on him for a moment. 21 points already, 5:53 to go in the first half. 22 for Jordan. He's halfway to his average of 44 against these Cavaliers. That's the pick from Purdue from long range. Jordan has 29. He got into the paint, gets the 2, and here come the boos. Michael with 31 points. Michael Jordan has been all over everybody. I mean, Michael with 31 points, only 2 below his average in the first half.
Here's Michael outrunning everybody with the basketball. You see his speed and his power.
That's what they've done. Price went for the steal.
Mark Price tried to circle to get the steal. Scottie Pippen with a nice pass, and Michael with a wide open shot. You're shooting the ball away.
Career high, 67 points, and you folks were here to see it. And he's not finished.
He's absolutely shell-shocked right now. They can't believe that Michael Jordan can continue to do this to him. This has been unbelievable.
69 points for Michael Jordan. Only David Thompson and Elgin Baylor, other than Chamberlain, have scored more than Michael Jordan in a game.
It took a minute. You know, we made the playoff my first 3 years there, but he had to get through Detroit. Once he got through Detroit, his whole, legacy, the ocean just opened up.
It was like shark-infested waters.
The Bulls had just swept the Heat in the first round of last year's playoffs, winning by an average of 23, forcing Miami into an average of 21 turnovers. And there sat Zoe, taking every question, looking every reporter in the eye and saying, my fault, my bad, I'm not good enough, I've got to get better. This year, Zoe, second in the league in scoring, Heat undefeated. Michael Jordan, third in the league in scoring, Bulls undefeated. Zoe, 26.5 points per game and ripping stuff up early. Zoe cranking 19 points, 11 boards in the first half. He finished with 33 and 19. Heat by 15 early, but break me off a little something, Chi-Town. Pippen, Jordan, one-handed rock. Jordan scored the Bulls' first 11 points. Michael Jordan makes the steal, pulls up for a triple. Booyah! Bulls 23 points in the last 4 minutes of the half. MJ 26 by recess. Second half, Michael blew up. Cut it out, Michael. Cut it out. That is ill. Give him the foul. Give him 18 of 33 shooting. Heat would cut a 16-point lead to 5. But you know Michael is butter because he's on a roll. He was also 13 of 14 from the foul line. Down the stretch, Pippen cannot convert, but Michael says, I got you back. 50 points.
Get up over the trees, baby.
Way up.
Pippen gets it to Jordan. Michael challenges and slams. And look at it, it wasn't there.
He's back. That was the reaction.
He didn't care about your feelings as a teammate in terms of when we in between those lines. He cared about that you understood that mentally and physically you had to be tough and on top of your game.
Do you believe MJ when he says it's hard for him to consider himself the greatest of all time? Is that the MJ you know?
Oh, yeah, because Michael is not going to talk about himself. He's not going to say, hey, I'm the greatest player that's ever lived. That's not who he is. He's never been like that. But he let his game speak for itself. You know, he don't have to say that. It's guys like myself, his fans who would say that. And he backed it up with how he practiced, how he approached the game, and then how he played the game, both physically and mentally. And then when you take account that he never lost in the NBA Finals, oh my goodness, that's amazing. And look at his scoring average and his percentage that he shot from the floor in those series too. It's just truly amazing.
That last shot. That's a bad motherfucker, man. Hey.
During the Bulls' second three-peat, Jordan won 3 straight scoring titles and was far and away the league's most active mid-range shooter. The most fearless, most clutch, and most terrifying jump shooter of his era. Jordan had fully morphed into the most lethal and creative mid-range scorer in the world.
MJ backs in again. Fades from 15 and hits again.
Jordan got to his jumper countless different ways. He could dribble into a quick stop pull-up like this.
Jordan.
You know, he gonna pick his spots. He gonna get to his pull-up jumper. It was a thing of beauty, man. And that's the thing that we missed in today's game.
And spring back and instead shoot over his right shoulder or vice versa.
He got Hersey Hawkins in the air.
But there's no answer to this. What are you gonna do about this? The high jump, the fall away jumper.
How graceful off the glass. I mean, he was spinning that ball, just hit it so easy and fell in. Michael, quick turnaround and
He had 60 that night.
Win 10 scoring titles and completely reshape the look and feel of greatness in the sport of basketball.
If that's the last image of Michael Jordan, how magnificent is it?
How do you stop that shot?
What was your trash talk with Michael like? Was there a level of respect toward each other?
Always.
Good idea.
Back then when I was with the Charlotte Bobcats, me and Mike played. Mike decided to come and play pickup against us. That was the past, this is now, and I will bust yo, you know what.
Oh, you done did it now, boy.
Bad idea.
So Jordan, I'm playing in Orlando. It's his last year. We play them in Orlando first. And I'm blocking his shot. Like, I'm locking him up. Like, I'm doing my thing again. I blocked his shot like 3 or 4 times. Like, I'm having my way against him defensively. Now, granted, he's 40 years old, but I'm feeling good about myself. So fast forward a month later, we're in D.C. My ankle, we go to a doctor in Baltimore, and basically he tells me I'm done. Like, my ankle's, once again, it's not healed, it's broken, I have to have surgery. But I wanted to play against Jordan one last time. And so we're playing the Wizards. It's a TNT game.
Wait,
Thursday
don't you
night.
want to go out where you dominate him and you're blocking his shots?
I'm just thinking, my ego. Like, I'm thinking, like,
okay.
I had him the last game. I don't need this left ankle. Just give me some.
I only need one ankle.
Give me a bunch of Motrin. I'm
Okay.
gonna go out here. And when I tell you, he torched me in that first quarter. Like, literally, he gave me 20 points in the first quarter on the same play. Like, he just ran the same play every time and did this, and I could not guard him. And so, literally, I checked out of the game at the end of the first quarter, and I didn't even go to the bed. I just walked back to the locker room. Like, I was done. Like, literally had surgery like a couple days later, but it was like I wanted to guard Jordan one last time. And you're right, I shouldn't have. I should have just let that go.
Did he know you were a wounded animal?
He probably did, because he went at me
And he didn't
the
care.
Same move. Like, he didn't do anything different. It was the same move, and I had nothing for him.
Jordan probably had your x-rays in the locker room.
He probably did.
He probably knew exactly.
I'm surprised he didn't send somebody for me to come back out.
We now return to your regular programming.
Very few athletes can say they undefeated in championship games. If I didn't know anything about all Michael Jordan's accomplishments, I knew that day. Okay, he told me about all the championships, everything he's done, sport, points scored, and he reminded me that I was on his team. What the fuck you gonna do, huh? Floyd, Jordan, who else? Rocky Marciano. I'm waiting. And was hoping I didn't get a call during that night, said MJ has released me. Because I did say some things in my trash talking to defend myself. What's up?
You stupid. Woo!
He made me want to play basketball. I honestly wanted to be like Mike.
At that point, I felt that trash talking was won by him. You're right, I'm on your team, you do pay my check. We destroyed his team in the scrimmage, but he won the trash talking. I think that's the first time in life I ever lost a trash talking match.
1993, still your rookie year. You guys are in Chicago playing the Bulls.
He was the best in the game, and I wanted this spot. When you come in, you don't know much, and you see it, you steal it.
Though Shaq finished with 29 points and 24 rebounds, what he remembers most are those valuable lessons he learned from MJ on the court.
It was not a good career move because I got traded the year after that, so maybe he was still thinking about it when they traded me.
What is the team talking about? What do you remember about it?
And I lost my shoe deal, so hey, maybe. So being undefeated means something. Everybody can't say that. 98% of the people who play sports can't say that.
I really believe that as a basketball player, if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, there wouldn't be no Allen Iverson.
6-0, man.
Of what ifs for Hall of Famers who went up against Jordan and those who have chased his ghost.
There's a host of people and teams that you could bring into the equation that Jordan just ruined everything and he just sullied their legacy.
How important is winning championships to establishing a player's legacy?
Whose legacy out of everybody else, Mark Jackson, do you believe was most negatively impacted by the greatness of Michael Jordan? Names like Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, those names come to mind.
When you look at players, I would think of the opposition. I think anybody that played.
Well, for all the people who's never won one, they're always going to say, oh, it's not that big of a deal. For all the people that have won, it's the greatest accomplishment, and you never can take that away.
Clyde Drexler, even though he ultimately went to Houston and got one, he would have had one in Portland if it were not for Jordan.
Patrick Ewing, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller.
Whether it be Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, all of the great players during that time.
But the person that I believe, Max, suffered the most was Patrick Ewing, former center for the New York Knicks.
But Patrick Ewing was an MVP just about caliber player.
Patrick Ewing.
Ewing went up against Jordan. Ewing was completely denied.
Michael at his best, Michael at his greatest, Michael at his most theatrical, Michael kicking the Knicks' ass.
They just told him that he couldn't guard him. Right, see, he said, you can't guard me. You too little. Then he says, hey, you come out here.
Michael Jordan had a flair for the dramatic that was unmatched.
He lived for these moments.
Only one guy has this level of artistry. Spinning in the lane for the slam.
It's not just the fact that MJ scored 55 in an important playoff win. It's how he did it.
Michael Jordan's will.
He's attacking me. What is this?
I mean, Jeff Van Gundy called him a con man, and MJ lit up the Knicks for 51.
Allen Houston guards him. Michael, 3 moves and a basket.
Arguably the best player who's ever played.
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
You don't really hear anything about Patrick Ewing, the player, anymore outside of New York City. He carried the New York Knicks franchise on his back for more than a decade. Ewing is never talked about. Nobody's legacy is hurt more than Ewing's.
Who's the only team to take Jordan 7 games back then? Patrick Ewing. I love it.
Michael was a killer. He's an assassin.
Patrick Ewing's like, why did I have to play in the same era as Michael Jordan?
But there is no question that if it were not for Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing would be a champion.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move by Jordan!
yes, sir.
You gonna be committed?
Sir, yes, sir.
Then jump down that hole.
I don't know, Captain. I just got these J's. They fresh out the box.
Oh, they got some air salts.
It's just been a great half of a year. I get to come to Chicago and play with Mike. I get to hang with him and come to Nike and go shopping.
Not today, bitch.
I feel like a little kid.
Thanks a lot, Sam. All right. Michael. Charles, are you taking yours or are we shipping it? Shipping it?
Yeah, ship to Michael's house.
All right.
Bruh.
Screw your J's.
This time, won't you save me? This time, won't you save me?
Bruh.
What's so special about J's? I mean...
My very first game playing against Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
Oh.
And we had a guy named Greg Minor guarding him. And he looks at Greg and he says, I should make you take my shoes off. I looked down, I didn't even realize it. I looked down and he got the Jordans on. That was my welcome to the league.
Michael Jordan's been out of the NBA for 16 years. Sold $130 million. He made that much in annual income on shoe sales last year. There's a lot of factors for this. Why Jordan is still 5 times more popular in terms of apparel sales than LeBron James.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why Jordan is still 5 times more popular in terms of apparel sales than LeBron James. And he's been out of the sport for 16 years.
Eat this, King. Right? Whoo!
The style, the cool, the logo that's international.
But let's face it, they were cool. And so was the man whose name and soaring figure adorned every pair. 2 decades later, their synergy stands in history.
Michael's legacy and impact on his culture, from the marketing, shoe, celebrity, business side of it, is going to outlast and have more enduring impact than what he did on the court, because what he did on the court was absolutely, literally unbelievable.
Think about this. Jordan's brand last year generated over $3 billion. It was almost 10% of Nike's overall sales. Converse turned Michael down. Adidas turned Michael down. And then this company, this growing company in Beaverton, Oregon said, yeah, starting to dominate the league. He had a couple titles. He saves America. And that forms this unbelievable brand. He's been out of the sport for 20 years. He made 4 times more than LeBron James last year. That doesn't make any sense in an industry that's all about the moment, still crushes all the current players. That doesn't make any sense.
Man, Jordan was a mogul, man. You got to understand, bro. Like, Jordan was the truth, bro.
And Michael hides. He's hiding in the Carolinas and golfing. It doesn't make any sense.
There's not a more famous person in America that you see less of, except on shoes and logos, than Michael Jordan.
That's the amazing thing about retro Jordans. They mean so much at different aspects of my life. Growing up in the 90s when Michael Jordan was at the center of the sports world, it was just an amazing thing.
If you're great, you're frozen in time.
Where does Jordan rank in terms of athletes that you have witnessed, interviewed, mentioned, talked to in terms of greatness? And I know that that is something that is defined objectively or subjectively, however you want to put it. But where does Michael rank for you?
I can't put anybody ahead of him. I know you can make a good case for others. You can make just as good a case and maybe slightly better for Michael Jordan. So if forced to choose among team sport athletes I've seen, taken into account all the aspects of it. Championships won, individual honors, presence, impact on the game, all those things. If I was forced to pick, I'd pick Michael Jordan.
Said LeBron's the greatest player of all time. After Jordan.
Jordan, according to the vast majority of players we talk to, has no real threats to his throne.
One man was largely responsible for this exquisite run of sustained excellence.
That the GOAT of all times, of anything basketball, was the original number 23, Michael Jordan.
It's Babe Ruth. It's Sugar Ray Robinson. Maybe it's Lawrence Taylor on defense. Or now it's Tom Brady. It happens to be the guy around right now, right? And it was Michael Jordan.
I am legend.
Michael Air Jordan. Jumpman. Free throw line. The GOAT.
We're talking about the clutchest, mentally toughest player who ever walked this planet.
Here's Jordan. Yes! It is all over.
Playing against him and MJ, I think, for me, it's MJ all day long.
Two, Michael falls, fires.
Yeah! Does it again!
But I don't want to hear anything about him being better than Michael Jordan. I'm not listening to it. I'm not trying to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I don't believe it. Not even a little bit. I want that to be very, very, very clear.
Kittles has it knocked away by Michael Jordan. Basket and a foul.
Fuck with Bron, but man, he ain't MJ, bro. Don't do it, bro.
In a blink, I will end your career so fast. I don't need no shooters to get your ass.
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
You are fighting a losing battle here, and this is proof positive. Game over for LeBron James.
You know, I'm not saying he wasn't a threat, but me being compared to him, I took offense to that.
Michael Jordan would intentionally antagonize opponents right before the big game, right? Game 7 of playoff series. He would really do things, and I can't say what they were, to infuriate them and get under their skin. And my response was, of course, like Muhammad Ali, you get a psychological edge by unnerving your opponent because they're less than their best when they compete against you. Stephen A. said, no, Jordan did it because he wanted to make sure he got the best version of his opponent, so that when he beat them, singing them, giving you the best that I got by Anita Baker, this is not me with any excuses. This is you at your very best, and I am better than you.
Champions sacrifice something.
People say it was Jordan an asshole. Yeah, but he backed that shit up.
Here's Jordan on the pull-up. Yes! And the game is tied at 92 with 3 4/10 seconds remaining.
And he said, you know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to give it to this dude.
Jordan was a fucking asshole, but guess what he did?
Three-point field goal. Michael Jordan with 4 3-pointers and a half has tied the NBA Finals record.
You know what he did?
The Chicago Bulls have won the 95-96 NBA championship. Make it 4 in 6 years.
Michael didn't want anybody to have nothing over him.
6 NBA titles, 6 final MVP awards, 10 scoring titles, and 1 trip to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Had a brutal Hall of Fame speech. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Michael Jordan and his 6 rings and his 5 MVPs and his 6 finals MVPs and his 3 all-star MVPs and his 14 all-star teams and his 9 all-defensive teams and his 10 scoring titles.
Career 30-point per game scorer, more than that in the postseason, phenomenal.
If you're 23 or 24, you didn't see Michael Jordan play. You saw highlights. Maybe you saw him with the Wizards. But sometimes you forget about this. You take it for granted that people understood the greatness of Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, first championship, beats Magic. Second championship, Drexler and the crew. Third championship, Barkley, Marley, Kevin Johnson and them. Goes into retirement, comes out of it.
Left for 2 years, came back and won 3 more.
Michael was born with more mental toughness than LeBron.
10 seconds. Jordan, 20-footer, head of the key. Good! The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
He was a killer. You know, he wanted to take your heart out.
Michael Jordan would just reach into your chest and pull your heart out if he had to win a game.
What you gonna do against this guy? Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Jordan was one of those guys that he was not just out to beat you. He was out to annihilate you, to take your heart right out of your chest.
Ripping your heart out and show it to you pumping from his hand.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Fires. Yes! The Bulls lead 87-86.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move by Jordan.
You're
On the drive, in for the left, gets chased into the corner, comes right back. Through the foul.
Oh, he was about demoralizing you.
Lace him up, it's going to be a long night.
6-0 in the finals, without a legitimate big man. Went through a lot, took a year off, came back and won 3 more in a row.
That is considered greatness to me.
Have won their 6th NBA championship, and it's their 2nd three-peat.
What a tour de force. LaShannon Sharp, what is your reaction to this development?
Get him, Bron.
Man,
Close encounter.
man, we're talking some serious delusion.
6-0.
So you can come back to me when LeBron gets 6 championships.
And then anecdotally, Jordan never, won every finals in under 7 games. Every time he played a full season in his prime with the team, he won the finals. No one challenged him. Not a 63-win Sonics team, not a Malone Stockton Hornacek team, not a Shaq Penny 60-win team that went to the finals the year before.
We equal, no, he's not.
And LeBron has had so many epic failures in his career when he wasn't the mentally toughest player.
So we all know his record, 3-6 in the finals. Keep in mind, this is the 2nd time he's been swept. The Spurs swept him in 2007.
He gave some effort, but then ultimately, he gave up. And when he gave up, the rest of the team followed.
LeBron a beast now, but that kill, he gotta get that kill in him. He gotta put more of that kill in him.
And it's really sad to say, to see you go out like that, to see you not go out firing.
Why would Jordan have gotten you one? It's because of heart.
I think his heart was questioned. I don't know if he punched his heart against the whiteboard, because at times it looked like his heart was hurting.
That little extra something inside your chest that the 10 man doesn't have.
Yeah.
That's, last time I checked, that has something to do with your value. And when you come up smaller than mini-me,
You are not the GOAT, man.
He quit. I don't want to hear nothing about no hand or none of that. He quit. He knew he was playing against a better team. After game 1, he knew he was beat. Point blank, bruh.
I do not believe, as he claimed, that he pretty much played the last 3 games with a broken hand. I'm not buying any of that. I didn't see that at all.
Heal your hand up, have a great offseason, figure out where you're going, but do not make that as an excuse. Y'all got swept by a better team. The whole world knows that.
Michael Jordan was the greatest competitor in any sport ever.
It's not his jumping or his jump shot or his defense. It's his inner guts and his inner heart. You're going to have to cut Michael Jordan's heart out to beat him.
But Mike also taught me something very valuable. So when I go to help him up, he said, don't ever help nobody up. Great foul. Don't do that. I don't need your help.
Killer instinct, man.
What does Jordan do? What does Magic do? What does Bird do? Name somebody. Bill Russell, what do? They rally the troops.
You can't double yet. Now you can quickly. Bird jumper, good. 3.6 seconds left. Larry Bird gives the Boston Celtics a 2-point lead.
That's a bad motherfucker, man. Hey.
We now return to your regular programming.
If you look at Michael, the body work he's done over the years. You look at LeBron, the body work he's done over the years. I mean, you're 17 now, going to 18. Michael is the greatest player ever.
He's the greatest basketball player ever. It may be 50 years before someone replaces him.
Was not only because he was clutch, not only because he was a closer, but before he was a closer in terms of championships, Max Kellerman, he was a killer.
Jordan on the drive, right of the lane, 18-footer. Yeah! Yeah!
The ultimate killer and assassin.
Now devolve upon me the painful duty of unleashing upon society a reputed assassin.
Jordan with 2 seconds left. Jordan to win. Michael Jordan being Michael Jordan.
Jordan killer. I'm talking about killer instinct.
Jordan has it. Top of the key. Moves up at the buzzer. He did it again.
He's just not like what Michael was. Michael was a killer.
Killer instinct, man. For real, dog.
Jordan was bearing down on him from the sky.
Eat this, King. Right? Whew.
There's a lot of conversations about what your game is capable of achieving, and I'm a firm believer that if you have a good game, your game is going to say that. You don't have to say it.
That one right there made you the greatest player of all time. That one right there made you the greatest player of all time. That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
What the fuck is this?
Jesus Christ. What the fuck is going on here?
Fuck all that, dude.
Are you kidding?
You're out of your friggin' minds.
Yeah.
This is egregious. This is flagrant. This is unconscionable. This is unconstitutional. This is a sign that the apocalypse is upon us.
Preach on.
I feel
Preach
earthquakes
on.
and
Preach
tornadoes and hurricanes and famine and pestilence.
LeBron James said, I'm the GOAT. After what I did going back to Cleveland, bringing them a title, I'm the GOAT.
Please.
How dare you?
You do
What's
read,
the
you
message?
Do read left to right.
He's saying, I'm like Mike, except I'm better than Mike.
Mentally tough? No.
The game is on the line, and you give the ball to Michael Jordan or to LeBron James and win the game. Who would you give it to?
I'm giving the ball to LeBron.
No, you're not.
How dare you?
Jordan gonna shoot that motherfucker.
When it comes time to close, who you want?
Inbound pass comes into Jordan. Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win!
Call LeBron the body snatcher. He just snatched their spirits right from their body.
Oh, wait. Because Ray made the shot, LeBron snatched their hearts? Is that what it was?
Where your ability to close just wasn't there.
James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
No. That's why you will never be Michael Jordan.
5.2 seconds left. Michael Jordan running on fumes with 45 points.
It's just not a comparison.
That's the only thing out here, a great motherfucker. But Kobe and Jordan, clear this motherfucker out.
And if you're better than Michael Jordan, you get him home.
He was as they called him, the bailout guy at the end of the 24-second clock. Just give it to Michael and he'll create a shot, make a shot. Okay? That's what he did. Way better than LeBron can do it.
You just got to get it home. You got to take the game over.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan, mentally toughest, big shot, big play maker ever.
Michael would love to take the shot now, and he got it again.
Michael Jordan was the mentally toughest athlete I was ever around in any sport, and I've been doing this for a long time in a lot of sports.
The chosen one, as he's called, cannot become the frozen one.
Okay.
The number one ranked player must have what I call the clutch gene. Right. You got to write down clutch gene.
Yeah,
it's
clutch gene.
It's G-E-N-E, not J-E-A-N.
Yeah, I got it. Keep going. Right. Keep going.
That last shot, he be passing that ball, dog.
Take the shot.
We felt like he should have went out in the finals without passing the ball. I mean, this team hasn't helped you all year. This is the last 2 games of the season. Go all out. Go out shooting. And that's what players that played the game, that's what we wanted to see.
He traded Isaiah. At least Isaiah, come on, Isaiah would have came out firing, bro. Like, Isaiah ain't going out like that. Isaiah ain't getting swept, bro. You got LeBron James, Isaiah. Isaiah would have put some work in out there, bro. Like, he'd have put some work or he'd have looked bad, but he'd have been out there with bullets. Like, let's go.
When you look at Friday night and what happened in Game 4, let me tell you what would have happened if it were Michael Jordan.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
I am not speculating about anything. You know it, Shannon. Stop it. You would not give the ball to LeBron James.
How dare you?
Pathetic, abominable, embarrassing. The list goes on and on.
It is the
asset 9, asset 10, asset 11, asset 12. This is what it was. And then let me tell you something right now.
Jordan,
he had an assassin's heart. He was a killer.
ain't no passing that ball.
He would do whatever it took to get the job done, and he got it done.
The legend in crunch time. Oh, smooth move by Michael Jordan.
Ain't no passing that ball. I'm taking this to the grave. I'm putting this on my people back. Ain't nobody touching this motherfucker.
Only one guy has this level of artistry. Spinning in the lane for the slam.
Because I saw it and the ability of what he could do when everything was on the line.
Jordan against Finley.
Wingate is on the bench. Here's Michael.
Ball goes around Geiger. MJ double. Oh! Big time reverse.
Woo. Now you're the biggest, craziest fan of the most unclutched superstar we have ever seen.
Yes,
how
indeed.
dare you do that?
You're not being respectful.
6 rings, 10 scoring titles, 5 MVPs, all defense 9 times. Did I leave anything out?
The stats favor Jordan. In his prime, he was better than LeBron by the most sophisticated kind of numbers crunching you can do. The most cutting edge ones say, it's close, Jordan was better.
Did you know that the Jordan Bulls never lost 3 consecutive games from 1990 until after he retired? He currently holds the record for most points in a single playoff game with 63 and has 8 50-plus point playoff performances, 4 more than anyone else.
For any player who's taken at least 700 postseason threes, LeBron is the all-time worst postseason three-point shooter. How do you explain that he has consistently run from the late game, close game, free throw line? He's still a liability when it comes to the postseason, especially from the three-point line, but also from the free throw line, in that statistically, he is the worst high-volume, late-game free throw shooter in the history of this league. Michael Jordan was an 85% free throw shooter. LeBron's way down at 74%. It's shameful for a guy of his caliber. I'm going to say it again. The all-time worst postseason three-point shooter at 32%. Did he improve his free throw shooting? No, he didn't. How can you argue against that? How can you argue? Oh, come on. Stop it.
We don't like free throws.
Okay.
We don't like free throws. We pay for everything.
I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this. Enough of this.
They always talk about how many points he would have scored or how he would have destroyed the competition because of what he did offensively.
I think that people don't realize.
They get all defense, first team 9-6 over LeBron. They get a defensive player of the year in Michael Jordan. He led the league in steals 3 times. LeBron doesn't do that.
What separates Jordan from everybody? Defensive player of the year.
Michael Jordan made first team all defense his final year in '98 while winning the scoring title.
How can you be the top scorer and the best defender? Nobody's done that but Jordan. That's what separates Jordan from everybody else. Conversation over.
Yeah, we did it, baby. Ain't nothing gonna stop us now, boy. We get it. What they gonna do now, my nigga? What they gonna do now? What they gonna do with your man? Huh? I'm doing nothing with me right here.
LeBron Jordan debate, once and for all, null and void, over and out. Just forget it.
Mark Jackson said on the air that players of the era in which Michael was at his apex when you first came into the league were cut from a different cloth than the players are today.
There really is some truth to what Mark Jackson said.
He's absolutely right.
How Michael Jordan compares to the stars of today.
The level of resistance.
He views himself as just individually better, but also the competition that he played with, he views as extraordinarily more talented.
We had better basketball players to myself, to me. I'm really going to tell you that.
The way the game is played, you know, the game is just a different game today.
I will take all of them. I'll take all my 90s against the shit now.
What the fuck was that?
And then after that,
That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
yo, seriously,
Yo, did I say it though, son?
You said it. You knew it.
No
You felt it.
celebration, son.
Chin chin.
To compare what we do now, what's going on now, to what's happened in the 80s and the 90s.
Well, they would beat up James Harden now.
Oh yeah.
Like he'd go to the floor a few times.
Yeah, if he flopped once or twice, they would make sure they gave him a reason to flop or fall down. It wouldn't be them guessing, you know, did somebody hit him? Right now, when we see a foul, we're always guessing, well, did he get touched? What happened? You know, his hand went this way, so it's always like we're trying to decipher what happened in the play. But back in the 80s and early 90s, it was like he just kind of took his elbow and went right across his head.
But offensively, even though James Harden is incredibly dominant, the amount of dribbles that he utilizes with the basketball, Michael Jordan would not have handled it that way.
I just respect Jordan because Jordan was just the truth, bro.
Jordan on the move, baseline left. Huh? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yes.
Leaves the middle open. Jordan, what a move!
Did LeBron have to get through the bad boy Pistons and the Showtime Lakers and Larry Bird and Kevin McHale's Celtics? Did he?
Why don't you highlight and crystallize the difference between this game, the way the game is played in this day and age, and the way y'all had to play back in the day?
I believe that the 80s and 90s basketball was harder than the one now.
the toughness of Michael Jordan, aside from his skills, is what stands out.
How could you ignore the era and responsibility in the same question? It's not diametrically opposed. The point that I'm trying to make is the era was so tough. That in and of itself harbored a strong level of responsibility.
Well, I think anybody who's going to win a championship has to go through the school of hard knocks. Very rarely do you just burst on the scene and win.
I'll take all my 90s against the shit now. Steph could probably with those 3-pointers, yeah. But it's a big difference when somebody's elbowing you in the jaw while you're trying to shoot.
I don't care how good they is right now. It's a whole different ball game, bro. With somebody holding on your shorts the whole way to the basket.
Legal. And it's
Come
legal.
on, man.
Big difference.
I think if Michael played today, his numbers would be even higher because you don't have the hand checking and you don't have the physical play on an everyday basis.
When you can't touch it.
Averaging 45.
If Michael played in this era, he'll average 50.
He was averaging 30 back then, though.
Remember the Jordan rules?
The Jordan rules.
Jordan rules. Is that something you guys made up?
With Mahorn and Lambert and Sally and Rodman and James Edwards and Dumas and a Rough Rider like Isaiah Thomas, who was a little pit bull.
I want to start with you and your Pistons teammates. You're the only players to have a winning playoff record against not only Jordan, but Larry Bird in Magic. Bill, educate us. How were you able to contain MJ specifically?
Well, at that point in his career, he was just a one-man band. So all he had to do was just run 3 guys at him, and every time he tried to attack the basket, knock him on his butt.
The Jordan rules. The Pistons and Chuck Daly had to come up with rules to keep him from snatching their hearts. And it took 8, 9, 10 deep playing football on Michael Jordan because the rules allowed it.
The bad boys were really fucking him up.
Yes.
We're really like fucking him up, hurting him.
Remember the Jordan rules?
But they used to beat the fuck out of Mike. They used to have Mike on that floor every fucking 2 minutes.
Big difference when Lambert is fucking clocking your ass because Jordan was taking blows and still scoring.
Bill, you were known as a tough guy.
They whole team was dirty. I swear, if you would have saw him got beat down, like nobody got beat down like Jordan and got up. Still scoring 40 and 50, beat down. I'm talking about by the Pistons and if you would have saw him got beat up and did so wrong, you will really love him.
LeBron versus MJ. We debate that often in sports. Where are you on the greatest of all time conversation?
I'm very vocal. I think LeBron is the best player that's ever played the game.
The backyard bully, he said that LeBron is the greatest of all time over MJ. What are your thoughts on that?
Stop being jealous. Bill and the bad boys, y'all made Michael Jordan to what he became. Don't be mad, don't be upset, and don't be, jealous. That's y'all fault. Mike Jordan was the GOAT, not Aaron. We always gonna think. I played against him, I watched him, and I'm gonna think about him as being the GOAT.
The way it was played back then to the softest cottonelle tissue circumstances that exist now.
They be like, oh, I got to sit out for 5 months. I got fouled.
Dudes who are superior athletes out here than what existed back in the game before.
Anybody now, you pick your squad, I'll pick my squad from the past. Magic, Bird, Kareem, Olajuwon, Shaq. What the fuck are you talking about?
But when you're just looking at Michael Jordan, there's no one more athletic than him in basketball today, or probably ever.
Michael Jordan became a global superstar largely because no one could fly quite like Air Jordan.
Michael Jordan, 48 inches.
That Michael Jordan hit his head on the backboard. And Jay Billis said he had never seen anybody do it. He didn't just graze the backboard, he banged his noggin on the bottom of the backboard hard because he was still rising. And it shocked Jay because he didn't think any human would be capable of doing that.
Vince Carter's vertical is 43 inches, which tells you how genetically gifted Jordan was.
They were asking physicists, is there a way that some guys can hang in the air longer than others? Because he would go up,
Did you
everyone
just
else
bring
would
up
come
a
down, he
physicist?
would stay up. He jumped
Did you just
higher.
bring up a physicist? Is that what you just said?
I did.
I believe that LeBron has consistently been able to take advantage of a consistently weaker Eastern Conference than Michael Jordan had to face through his time in Chicago.
I mean, please. LeBron was on a honeymoon throughout his career. I mean, it's the closest thing that I've seen to a honeymoon in basketball history, playing in that damn Eastern Conference. I don't even want to hear it. Night and day.
Hear me. Hear me now.
Snatch dudes' hearts all around the league. He would have taken them out.
So you caught MJ's last three-peat, 96, 97, 98.
I did. Everybody did. We all did.
You caught it.
We all caught
We
that.
all caught it. We in Chicago. It's my rookie year, the second half of the year. You know how you're not caught on now, right?
Now you got your little 1-2 moves, you getting them off right now. You got some confidence, right? So I'm in that. So I'm in the wave. I'm playing decent. I'm starting whatever, however. We get to Chicago. Ronnie was just in the bad crash. I haven't had no sleep, so I'm on a getting back to the go. I got about 70 people at the game, the hood in here. We all in here, right? So I'm just on one, but I haven't had no sleep.
It was funny too, Jack mentioned it, but we had happened, I guess you did an interview, and then we had happened to have KG, and they told you guys both told the Michael Jordan story. And they mirrored your guys' story, were dead on each other. It was crazy.
My first time playing against them live in an NBA game. So we go out to center court, they about to do jump ball. You know, we all go out, ride beside each other. My first time playing against the Bulls, and they was like, you know, rock stars, right? Mm-hmm. So I remember, let me rewind. I remember on the bench about to walk out, and you know, I'm looking at Mike, and Mike used to tap his toes, you know what I mean, stretch his hands out real wide, you know what I mean, and do the little, you know, little Mike to the walk. So I grew up with him, that was my idol, so I'm looking at him, right, looking at his mannerisms, characteristics. We go out to half court. I remember Mike look at me, I got a bald head, wristband up to my elbow, like way up here, like, you know, he's way up here to the bicep. Yeah. Mike, look at my head, look at the wristband, look down on me. I had on my own shoes, I had Skyriders. Look down on my shoes, look back up on me, right, and look this way, right? So I look at him like, what
He sized you up.
He did, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, he probably think I'm trying to look like him.
Yeah.
I say, ref, real story. I say, ref, hold up. I take off the wristband. I'm running to our bench. Take off the wristband, throw it to our trainer, come back out there, look at him, and we just get it in.
And I had played against Mike 3 times head up. So KG had never seen me play against Mike.
Yeah.
So we're in the game, and I got about 24 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Mike got about 18, 19.
Okay.
So I'm quiet. I always stay quiet when I play Mike. I didn't talk too much. I mean, if he talked to me, I was going to talk back, but he never talked crazy to me. We just played. But I never talked crazy to him at all, right?
Yeah, you knew better.
So we come out of the fourth quarter, KG like, man, keep going at his ass.
Keep killing this nigga.
Serve him. He can't guard you. He can't da-da-da with you. He can't mess with you.
Yeah.
I was like,
JR is having a good game. You know, JR Mike kind
JR
of
Ryder.
like JR Ryder. Shout out to JR
Shout out
Ryder,
to
right?
Easy Rider.
So I'm like, so as we come out the timeout, just I'm on, y'all. I can't even explain it. And I used to always be prepared for whatever and whoever. And I didn't want to ever be the one that didn't have the energy or didn't have the know-how. Like everybody that has ever played with me would tell you 2 things. I'm prepared to play, and it's whatever. Like I'm one of them. I'm one of them teammates that's gonna ride, even if you're wrong. I'm riding with you. We'll talk about how wrong you are later, but right now we in it. We're going. Throw it. Like we out here. And you know, my mentality has always been like that. So that's why when you know when I befriend somebody or we become teammates, to be really feeling like we family, because that's how we hold it.
I was quiet. I'm looking at him like, just chill. Because Mike was literally right there.
And
Him
KG
Scotty.
was hype. Like
and
KG
he's super hype.
Yes.
You know,
loud.
I'm super hype. So we vibe, right? But I'm like, chill. Mad. Looking at KG. Looking at me. Looking at KG.
Motivate him.
Man.
And that was so real, you know what I mean? And I had to guard that man, so KG was just on one feeling good.
So I hear JR go, yo, all right, yo, fella, keep going, yeah, you too. So he trying to get me off and over. I don't even, you know, now that I recall it, he was trying to kind of just get off and over. So he go.
I said, look, I got to guard that man. Not you. I guard that man.
Right.
You can go talk to Scotty or whoever all you want.
Well, you said the rules. He didn't know the rules.
You know the rules. There's certain rules out there. He's like, man, he looked at me like, man, he can't guard you. Keep going at him. I'm like, man, chill. He's like, what? I was like, he's standing right here, buddy. And, you know, and KG was like, I don't care. Keep going at him.
Wow,
Too strong for this dude, man. Too strong for him. I was like, wow. So Mike looked at KG, looked at me, looked at KG. I was like, Mike, he don't know the rules of the game, man. He's just a young pup. You know what I mean? Mike was like, okay, you talking? You know what I mean? I said, man, he don't know the rules of the game. Yeah. And Mike looked at him again like, okay.
Nigga, right here. Mike can hear me, but I don't really give a fuck. So I'm like, so I double back like, yeah, man, keep killing that nigga, yo. You killing that motherfucker. So as I say that, I feel it. Hands on hips, legs locked. Then look, the nigga stabbed me for about 15 seconds.
Because you succeeded and you think, oh yeah, I can do this. And you start believing your own bullshit and you start spouting more bullshit, and it's bullshit that you can't cover. Your mouth is putting out checks your body can't cash.
Went to the fourth quarter, man. That man got about 17 quick.
It got bad quick, yo. I come to the joint, and they know this. When you come and you've been on the run, when you not got back on the floor, got back, had to rebound, and you feel like you on defense all the time, you come to the bench like this. So I was like, JR, man, my bad, dog. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. He like, it's cool, man. I told you. Just shut your ass up, man. You're not funny. So you got in between the Gatorade there where you like, damn, and next thing you know, we over there like this.
Killer instinct.
Mike had 18, he had like 40 now. JR, myself, we ain't scored in like about 4 minutes. They not subbed like 3 of the starters. Like, it's just.
That's Mike, baby.
Then I apologize to JR. My fault, man.
I didn't mean to get your motherfucking ass busted.
Man.
What JR said? What was JR response?
Man, I told you, chill out.
Killer instinct, man. For real, dog.
You know what I mean? Mind you, KG was having a great game on Scotty. We both, KG had about 30, I had about 28.
Yeah.
I mean, we was getting it.
It's amazing.
But KG didn't understand that we don't talk to Mike like that.
No, don't gas him up. Don't gas him up.
At least
And Mike came down. Okay, young fella. Okay, damn, young fella. Damn, y'all done? Damn, young fella. Never talk shit to Mike ever again in life. When I seen him at All-Star, apologize, hey, man. You know, I respect him, man. I ain't never did it to nobody else, but I had that, man. Look, respect, man.
Don't pump him up, dog.
You can get 30 and you can be cool. Okay, Mike got 30. But you don't want him to be mad and go get 50.
That'll happen.
Or 60. That'll happen easy.
You know who I'm rocking with.
I know who you're rocking with.
You know who I'm rocking with. Mike, man. Jordan Killer. I'm talking about killer instinct. Killer instinct, man. For real, dog.
They would have wanted no part of him because that was Jordan's specialty. He wasn't about just beating you. He was about demoralizing you.
He's never going to turn it off. Some guys are just built different, made different. Mike is that type.
He didn't think that anybody could stop him.
With the hop step, rise. Oh, man, you just got posterized.
Woo!
More unstoppable, though, when they get that mindset. Michael or Kobe?
Certainly Michael.
Really?
Yeah.
Jordan off the steal.
He never asked to sit out. He never asked me anything, but only he asked for respect.
Yo, B, that's Mike.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Jordan in deep. Jordan all the way. Score.
Be careful. You never talk to Black Jesus like that. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Black Jesus.
I think the game's greatest finisher because he had no weakness in his game.
If Jordan was a fucking rookie, Jordan would have smashed these dudes now. I'm sorry.
How many points a game would Michael Jordan average if he played in this league, this style, the way they play now?
10 more than his highest year. If Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. If Michael played in this era, he'll average 50.
If Mike played today, he would average 45 in his prime.
Easy.
He'd average 45.
47.
MJ would get 50.
If he was in his prime, in today's rules, I think he'd average between 50 and 60 a game. I think he shoots 75. He shoots 75% from the floor. If you couldn't hand check him, he'd be completely unstoppable.
A nightmare.
Well, on the fly pattern to Michael Jordan on the catch, realizing he had a defender there, able in midair to collect himself, go behind his back, and gather himself and still finish the play. A spectacular Michael Jordan play.
Woo! 35 when you're
37 and 37. Think about it.
On 48% shooting.
He's the GOAT.
Jordan's the best player ever, so we're all trying to, try to get there, try to surpass him. From what I'm seeing right now with Jordan, it's tough to say otherwise.
By the way, Michael Jordan is the GOAT. I didn't even mention, you notice I didn't even mention him. Yeah. He's the GOAT.
That's it. Bingo. Kaboom. Thank you. It's that simple.
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player that
Whatever.
has ever played the game, and that's it.
If I say Shaq, who's the greatest player ever? What is the answer?
I'm going to have to say Michael Jordan.
You know who I'm rocking with.
I know who you're rocking with.
You know who I'm rocking with. Mike, man.
It's hard for me to say that LeBron would be the greatest to ever play because of what I grew up seeing in Michael, what I grew up trying to be like.
Skip. I love Michael Jordan.
He is the GOAT.
I just made myself feel sorry for LeBron James because I've piled on too much and I have a lot more. I could just throw number after number at you.
All right, I'm going to break it down like this. How many times MJ went to the finals? Please, anybody?
6 for 6 times and won every time.
Okay, so he's undefeated, so he don't know what it's like to lose in the finals.
6 championships with 6 finals MVPs, 6-0. They get 10 scoring titles to 1 scoring title for LeBron.
I'm not dissing LeBron. I don't want to hear no more comparisons, though.
It's even 5-4 in just MVPs alone. I'm sorry, Shannon, you lost. It was a good try. And I admire your loyalty to your guy.
Why you discuss the GOAT?
I agree. There's
Why?
it's not close enough. It's not close enough
Right.
between Michael and anyone else to really have the conversation. Let's be honest about it.
From his excellence, his greatness as a basketball player.
Michael is a god.
He's not to be sacrilegious, but Skip, he's the Jesus. If you play basketball, he's it.
To me, the greatest player ever, yes, he was.
I know he won 6 titles. I know he won 10 scoring titles. I know he's a 5-time MVP with 6 finals MVP.
Michael Jordan did that.
Conclusion, ball game, sorry.
That tell you it right there. That cover everything right there.
Yeah.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I got to get to work in the next 10 minutes, or I'm fired.
A lot of fans now never saw Mike play.
Oh, so they don't know. Yeah.
Here endeth the lesson.
Ambitions, especially great ambitions, great goals that you set for yourself, right? They are fucking delusions. An ambition, a goal you set for yourself, is something that, if you think about it, is just not real. It's something that you hope to achieve. So if you think about it, it's a delusion, an illusion, something that's not real.
That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
And the only way to continue after such heartbreak is to more firmly convince yourself that this delusion, this dream that you have, is achievable and that you can make it real.
You just got to get that kill in them.
Because it's a kind of insanity. It's a delusion because it's not real and it's going to be incredibly difficult to achieve, especially a great goal. A great goal is going to be fucking almost impossible to achieve.
You play 6 times in the finals and you win all 6. You needed a shot. He hit a shot. He wasn't afraid. He didn't fail.
Because these people will give you realistic reasons and very accurate reasons as to why some goal, some dream that you have cannot be achieved.
LeBron a beast now, but that kill, he got to get that kill in him. He got to put more of that kill in him.
That Achilles heel alone disqualifies him from the GOAT race.
You hear the objections from rational people, and you're going to start nodding along because they're right.
That the GOAT of all times, of anything basketball, was the original number 23, Michael Jordan.
Well, he's a super winner, you know?
Yep.
Those are always really interesting. Like, anyone who's that driven to be such a winner, like, you stand out amongst winners as being so exceptional that everybody, like, who's the GOAT? Michael Jordan is always the first pick, right? There's there's wonder, like, how would LeBron, how would this, that? but everybody always says Michael Jordan.
They don't say this out of malice. They are not trying to hurt you. They are not trying to strip you of your dream. Okay. On the contrary, these people care about you. Okay, and they want what's best for you. They are telling you this out of love.
Skip, I love Michael Jordan.
The reasons are going to be so fucking logical. They are going to be so fucking logical and so rational and so on point that if you hang around such people, they are going to wipe away your delusion.
Like, to be that much of a super winner, you think about all the people that are playing basketball, all the people that are around him that are world-class athletes, professional athletes, and he stands out amongst them. To be that guy, first of all, you have to have a fire burning inside you like most people will never be able to comprehend. He's so off the charts as far as, like, to be that kind of an achiever. You have to have a madness about you that's probably intolerable for most people.
Yeah.
Just the desire to win, conquer. In other days, man, those were gladiators. In other days, those were generals. You know, there's a lot of people that get into pro sports that it's really, in a lot of ways, it moves them away from war in the best way that we know how possible. But if we didn't have those, if there was no sports and people just conquered each other, those would be the kings of the world.
We're talking about the clutchest, mentally toughest player who ever walked this planet, Michael Jordan.
I think we clearly know who LeBron James is. He's not a fourth quarter killer.
Jordan killer. I'm talking about killer instinct.
With the people you love, what you have to do is convince them of the insanity of your dream. It's as simple as that. See? If your ambition is a delusion, and it is.
According to all the most advanced metrics, Michael Jordan is greater on average in his career, like his PER, his average PER is higher than LeBron's. Wait a minute.
And LeBron has had so many epic failures in his career when he wasn't the mentally toughest player.
Fewer championships than Jordan, below 500. It's not going to add up for LeBron to be in an equal debate with Jordan. There's just something about that to me. 6, below 500. Undefeated, below 500.
Yeah. That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
You have to explain it to them. You have to convince them.
LeBron James said, I'm the GOAT. After what I did going back to Cleveland, bringing them a title, I'm the GOAT.
And you have to convince them as much as you can because you're going to need those people who love you.
Get them, Bron.
Yeah. Because when things get dark on the road to your ambition, to your goal, you're going to need people who are as crazy as you are, who are as deluded as you are, more deluded than you.
And if I had to pick one over the other, right now I'm picking LeBron James over a Michael Jordan.
You know, make your dream, your insanity, your delusion, you have to make it contagious.
Get them, Bron. Yeah. That one right there made you the greatest player of all time.
And you have to get the people who love you to catch this insanity and be as crazy as you are.
Close encounter.
Man, we're talking some serious delusion.
I know he won 6 titles. I know he won 10 scoring titles. I know he's a 5-time MVP with 6 finals MVP.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Michael Jordan is the greatest. Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever put on shoes and play in our game. No doubt about it.
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever.
Jordan is the GOAT.
Killer instinct, man. For real, dog.
And that's where you're dead.
What should I do? Should I admit that I've made mistakes?
Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
Without Michael Jordan, I wouldn't have had the vision.
MJ. Oh, Harry did it! And Michael shakes the finger.
You can't teach that, and you can't fake that.
And after this, oh, look, he wags his finger at you.
I thought I was coming here to talk about
getting out of this life. You know, you know when you get to that point, I'm there.
Michael quit the sport twice, failed in baseball, has been an awful general manager, and a so-so at best owner. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
He's different. He's fucking different. And what this shows you is how different MJ was. That man was a fucking winner. He was a winner. And that's it. Like, that's it. MJ won. There is no other conversation. It's not a coincidence that he's a champion. It's destiny. There was no other option. It was champion or bust. And you motherfuckers around me, if you do not understand why I am the way I am, then this is not the place for you.
So say good night to the bad guy. Go on. The last time you're gonna see a bad guy like this again, let me tell you.